When you were a kid, who did you look up to, and also who are you inspired by now, riding wise?
When I was a kid, I looked up to, of course, when I raced, I looked up to BF, Schoonover. I mean, all the guys that took the rhythm section different, like, because they'd all line up towards the rhythm section and just hit it differently. All the guys who took it a little bit differently, I just looked up to. Then as I got older and started riding trails, it was like Stauffer, Bennett, I mean, Wing Ding, Ground Chuck, Punjab, all the trail guys in Pittsburgh and Posh and all those dudes, I mean, you name it. And then as of now, I mean, there's all sorts of guys I look up to, even still, that Joe Rich, I mean, Taj, I mean, those guys are still in the game and they've been in it so long and just keeping the love alive. And I look up to the young kids too, like, you know, Nathan Williams, and I mean, Cor Martinez is still at it too. He's still kicking ass. And Coda, of course, and I mean, there's too many to name. I just rode with the kid yesterday that I was wowed by, and Chad Curley. I was just like, damn, man, I've been at it for a minute, and I'm like, these kids are killing it. It's just crazy because I've been at it for 2 years, and I come back and I'm just like, holy shit, it's changed a bit.
Yeah, one thing that you'll probably always be known for in riding is that you really put an emphasis on style, sort of before that was the norm, and like it seems like that's something that sort of influenced BMX as a whole. A lot of kids focusing more on style than just tricks. And is that something you deliberately tried to do when you were a kid, or is it just sort of how you were brought up?
It's just what I like to watch, I mean, and what I like to do. I just kind of followed my passion and my heart. I mean, I just did what I liked, and no one else could steer me any certain way. I just liked what I liked and did that. So
all right, I got a couple of like throwback questions. Number one is people always still talk about this, like even now, like the message board thread back in the day about how you sagged your pants. And did you read that like at the time that it was going on? But you've probably heard about it over the years, and like,
yeah, I heard about it all through school too, man. Nothing new.
Did it make you oh, you got made fun of it?
Not made fun of, but kids just constantly said that what I think I'm gonna hear.
But was that like something you thought was really out of the ordinary, since back then you probably weren't totally used to like kids modeling themselves after you?
Yeah.
Yeah, another one, like we were talking about kind of stuff that you innovated in riding, and like one of the things that came to mind was sort of the whole like pegless grinding thing. You were probably one of the earliest guys, like in terms of doing the big ass like fakie ice picks on sub boxes to fakie with no pegs and stuff. Like what was that kind of like coming up with that stuff back then?
I mean, I just basically the whole reason I even took pegs off was I just got bored. I mean, just wanted to see what I'd do if I took pegs off and see how I'd think about stuff differently. And I mean, I basically did the same things but without pegs, and just wanted to challenge myself and see what else kind of things I'd come up with, kind of what I'd do. And I mean, I don't know, it's all about having fun, you know, keeping that smile on your face.
And like another one was sort of, you struck me as one of the earlier guys who totally took like your trails background to street and just blasting up rails and doing like all kinds of tricks out of them, like 180 lookbacks. I think you were probably one of the first guys to do that and stuff. Like, was that like a sort of deliberate decision to sort of take those two things and merge them together?
No, I think it's just what you like to do. I mean, it's obviously, I guess to me it's obvious, but just what you look at and what you ride every day. I mean, to me it's like I see a rail and some other kid sees a rail and he may think it's something totally different, but I see an up rail and I'm like, man, you could go up that and like do a high touch 180 table, you know, 180 fast plant and stuff, and other kids may be like, you could do a kickflip or something, but not me.
You're anti-kickflip?
Not anti, man. I'm all for BMX, you know, yeah. But I can't do that shit. I don't fuck around with that.
One thing that I was kind of impressed by in terms of your whole engine and everything was just how all your sponsors really like stood by you, because it's been a few years and it's pretty amazing that they've supported you.
Definitely.
Is that like, did you expect that all along, or has it been a surprise?
No, I mean, it's been a surprise and a total shock. I mean, been totally awesome, and I can't thank them enough. But yeah, I've always stuck with them, and it's just cool to see them pay it back, you know, because I've had offers obviously to go different places, and I've always been like, no, I'm gonna stick with my family, you know. So
like the GT thing back in the day, if you like, not that there's anything wrong with them, but I mean, like, it probably wouldn't have been necessarily.
I've always had chances to go places, and it's just I think there's something to be said about, you know, sticking around with the companies you ride for. I mean, not bouncing around and kind of laying it down, you know, for a company says a lot about a guy. So
that's true.